allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Long?
Here.
Mrs. Dottori?
Here.
And Mr. Barker. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting and/or addendum items. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion about the agenda? Not. Call the vote. Mrs. Dottori
Yes.
and Mr. Long.
Yes.
Next up is to approve or amend the meeting minutes from the May 9th, 2017 regular board meeting. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, any edits to the minutes? Call the vote to approve the minutes. Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mrs. Dottori?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up is the presentation of the financial statement for the month ended 31 May 2017. The beginning fund balance in the general fund starting May 1st, 2017 is $3,942,762.75. Personnel, $413,887.03. Vouchers, $250,360.51. Total expenditures, $664,247.54. Revenue of $20,774.31 for an ending fund balance in the general fund of $3,299,289.52. In the land improvement fund, we started with a balance of $2,783,578.41. Expenditures of $78,435.44. Revenues of $159,162.82 for an ending fund balance of $2,864,305.79. You'll see we received a check from our wetlands mitigation banker for the Pine Brook property that we own. They sold some mitigation credits, so you'll see the line item for $156,800 revenue for some mitigation credits. In the retirement reserve account, starting fund balance $57,953.03, ending fund balance of $58,083. A little bit of revenue there, $47.80. Excuse me. In the park capital reserve account, the beginning funded balance was $3,068,354.21. Revenue of $2,530.82 for an ending fund balance of $3,070,885.03. In the canine fund, the starting balance of $2,846.45. Revenue of $1,400. Expenditures of $206.17 for an ending fund balance of $4,040.28. Are there any questions about the May monthly financial statement? Okay, if not, it will be entered into the record. Next up is approval of vouchers for the month of May. Combined vouchers for the month of May were $328,870.06. Entertain a motion to discuss the vouchers, approve the vouchers.
So moved.
To discuss the vouchers or?
Yeah, just to bring it to the board for discussion. Get a shop for vouchers.
When, with regard to contracted services, I noticed, do we bid out the, like the portable restrooms and things of that nature? Because there's several companies out there. Do we seek bids, or do we just call the company that's?
Depending, we have our internal purchasing guidelines, depending on how much we're gonna spend in a given year's time, whatever thresholds those might be, I don't recall what they are. But say, for example, it's over $5,000 we're gonna spend in a given year's time, then yes, we will solicit 3 quotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's required. I'm sure, I understand that. I'm just wondering, do we shop around?
Yes, we do.
I mean, even if it's a small amount of money, it's always good to shop around, keep them interested in our business. Another thing is, I was confused by the Geauga Credit Union, under equipment fees and purchases. What's the credit, West Ops and Tools, Geauga Credit Union, equipment fees and purchases?
That would have been, and Lori, correct me if I'm wrong, but that would have been some hand tools that we purchased with our credit card. Our credit card is through Geauga Credit Union.
Okay.
Right.
That was just, I didn't know, I didn't understand that.
And yeah, we'll take a look at our portable restrooms. I don't know how long it's been since we've shopped, but we take a look at that. We do.
We shop around a lot,
Yeah,
so
yeah, we do as well.
it's really the only kind of questions I had. It was just the credit union thing kind of stuck out at me. So now I understand.
Well, no further questions. We'll go ahead and take the vote to approve the vouchers for the month of May.
So moved.
And call the vote. Mr. Law
Yes.
and Mrs. DeTore.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up is new business and our planning and operations update. Status of our contracts. Just want to point out a couple things. In the updates, you'll see approximately $26,000 change order for the high capital property improvements that inflated that construction cost a little bit. And Tommy Dover is here if you have any questions. But basically, we had some issues with quantities of topsoil for moving cut and fill. So we had a change order there. Project is still under the original construction budget. The guys did a great job keeping them under budget. So you'll see the change order that we talked about in months past on the Maple Highlands Trail South paving project. We elected to go with an additional 1-inch overlay on that project, still keeping it on our project budget, but go with a 1-inch overlay on that project because some Amish with horse and buggies will probably be using that south section of the trail more. So that's why you see a difference between the original bid award and the current construction cost of those 2 change order items. Any questions on any of the construction projects?
No, we wanted to talk about some of our fresh and craft.
We'll talk about the roads and boards. But,
With change orders, I mean, is that, how does that come about? I mean, how does that process? I mean, I know what a change order is.
right.
We do a lot of construction ourselves, so I'm just, how do you process a change order?
You want to explain the
Yeah.
process a little bit, Tommy?
So with change orders, we have work change directives that we do when we're in the field. So if there's something minor, when we're out there, we'll make that decision and we'll get that put together as a work change directive, and then we'll combine those to issue a change order.
Okay.
So each change order that you see will typically have a couple items included in it, and then you'll see kind of the total sum on that change order. So for High Catlin, Clarendon Woodlands, for example, that had a couple deducts in there and a couple additional items, and then the 26,000 was change order number 1.
So when you talk about the soil issues, they came about as a result of unforeseen
Yeah,
circumstances?
yeah, they started doing earthwork out there and ran into a lot more topsoil than they expected. And so there's more work involved when you're spreading, placing topsoil than there's clay, so that was kind of the biggest cost in change order one.
Yeah, I know you can't really build on top tops.
Right, exactly. So,
Okay.
So our prints and our specs would have come forward with some quantities, and then our planning department